Irani to respond to this point. Smriti ji, welcome. This point that's being made by your opponents who say that a lot of the focus on semiconductors, a lot of the focus on higher tech manufacturing requires a lot of money to be spent for very few jobs being created. The point being that for a country like India, you need to focus more on sectors that are very labor intensive rather than these high tech sectors which look fancy but don't create as many jobs for the amount of money required to get one job going. Smriti Irani.
I think that the budget has done a balance between those which are segments technologically intensive and those that are labor intensive. For instance, if you look at, let's say, the vertical, and I didn't have the pleasure of listening to all the panelists before I joined you. However, if you look at the announcement with regards to electronics manufacturing, if you look at the announcement with regards to biopharma and the complementary announcement with regards to, let's say, the coastal cargo promotion scheme. The idea is not to do a siloed announcement, but an announcement where there is a holistic growth opportunity. For instance, if you're talking about semiconductors and electronics manufacturing, then it is essential to enhance our capacity to produce rare earth minerals on our own indigenously. So the rare earth corridor which has been pronounced and the specific states that have been ascertained for that pronouncement also takes into the consideration the fact that we may have the third largest reserve in the world, but our global production contributory capacity is just 1%. Now these are at a nascent stage industries where if you put in the amount of effort financially, technologically, and from a labor perspective, then you see the exponential growth, which is projected either in the finance minister's speech or as has been enunciated by the minister concerned, or for that matter, by the prime minister. But at the same time, if I look at the segment, let's say, of technical textile, HSN codes for technical textile did not exist, though their economically viability or their value existed in the country. For the first time, 300 HSN codes were made by Prime Minister Modi's government. And if you look at just the numbers for 2024, there was $3 billion worth of exports. So, in, let's say, a field like textiles, where the Prime Minister 5 years ago had announced a 6,000 crore package for apparel and made ups, and the US market, where a lot of our companies could make inroads only on the basis of that package. Today, with the EU deal in the offing, you have a new opportunity for the textile sector. But if you look at the technical textile announcement, that segment itself is projected to grow to about 10 billion worth of exports, and it currently has employed close to 1 to 1.5 million people. If I
But in
look
the
at, let's
critique
say,
he offered, Rahul Gandhi made the point that investors are pulling out. Net FDI is negative, foreign portfolio investment has been negative, and the point being made is that the budget, in the view of the opposition, doesn't address that concern about trying to pull foreign investors into India, and you've got a depreciating rupee to contend with as well. How do you respond to the charge, and how concerned is the government by the fact that
economically,
foreign
we are not.
investors, on balance, seem to be less enthused about investing in the India story than they've been in the last few years?
Economically, we are not functioning in isolation. We are a part of a global community where there are many trade considerations and fragmentations that we are content to deal with. Additionally, I remember the charge of the Congress party at least a decade ago was that we are not evidencing inclusive growth. If you look at the pronouncement by the Honorable President of India recently in her address to all parliamentarians and the nation at large, you saw that the social security net has been enlarged by this very government from 25 crores to 95 crores. Thereby, the government itself has evidenced inclusive growth. If you're looking at capacities that has been built by this government, let's say in the sector of GCCs. Now GCCs is not an economic element or sector that was spoken about, let's say, a decade ago. Today, over 2 million people are employed in that segment. Export of services also has grown thanks to that segment. And one particular issue of interest, at least for a citizen like me, is the growth of those verticals in tier 2, tier 3 cities. So when I look at the government announcing a capex of 12 lakh crores, especially for infrastructure, or city economic region announcement of 5,000 crores for specific cities, I recognize that the government understands expanding populations, understands growing aspiration, understands that there can be a complementary ecosystem made for investment if you strengthen infrastructure in tier 2, tier 3 cities today in India. And that's why this particular announcement of CapEx is significant. Additionally, Rahul, if we today want to expand investment opportunities, will we not look at new geographies for foreign investors for that matter? So, today in India, if there are 18 lakh square feet available space to develop, let's say, data centers or GCCs, wouldn't they want complementary infrastructure to be provided by local authorities or state governments? So, instead
So
of
we'll
looking
leave
at a
it there.
siloed approach, instead of looking at a siloed approach, why not look at a comprehensive plan that the government has progressively announced in this budget?
Okay.
Yeah, Rahul,
Thank you
can
very
I-
much, ma'am,
can
for
I give
joining
a
us. Really
response to this
appreciate you
comprehensive
taking out
plan?
time and joining us because room